Well, hello friends, I'm so glad you can make it to this tutorial on anything and everything you ever wanted to know about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Guys, we gotta just jump right into this because there is so much information to cover. For anyone who has never watched Buffy in their entire lives, shame on you, first of all. Second, no worries, I've got you covered. There isn't a single person in the entire universe who can tell you all there is to know about Buffy besides me. Okay, well maybe there's one, but Mr. Whedon is not available at this point in time. First off, you gotta know who I'm talking about. So the first thing we have to go over are the characters. First up, we got Buffy herself, the one and only chosen Vampire Slayer. Well, not so much anymore, but we'll get to that later. Buffy Ann Summers, the seemingly normal daughter of Hank and Joyce Summers, until you look a little closer. The only word to describe her is badassness. Now, if you know anything about Buffy, you know that she has saved the world on multiple times, and even died twice. So you know, that's pretty much the best dedication you're gonna get out of a Slayer. Most of them just die the one time. She has two best friends. First off, we got Xander over here. He's not so much big on the supernatural powers and the super strength, but what he lacks in supernatural abilities, he makes up for in unconditional love and comedic effect. Let's be real. You need someone who's funny, and this guy fits the bill. Next up, we got Willow Rosenberg. She happens to be the most powerful ally that Buffy has on her team. But that's not until later on in the series. When we first meet Willow, this is what she looks like. All cute and cuddly and bookwormy, and that's what made us fall in love with her to begin with. At this stage, she doesn't have much to offer but book smarts, but that's all we need. Next up, we have the penultimate father figure, Rupert Giles. This guy, wow, I don't even know where to start. He is Buffy's watcher, which means he trains her in her Slayer abilities, bulks up her strength, and basically helps her out figuring out any kind of supernatural deities that she has to fight, how to destroy them, how to end their lives. So he's pretty important. And last but not least, we got Angel Cakes over here. Angel is the love interest of Buffy the Vampire Slayer with a mysterious past. Spoiler alert, he's a vampire. Most of you know that already, I hope. But the twist, he's got a soul. And the only thing that can take away his soul is one moment of true and perfect happiness. That'll be relevant later. Now, as many of you are already aware, Buffy the Vampire Slayer was on television for 7 long years. Now that is a feat in and of itself. A supernatural television series doesn't last that long. But the reason this one was so successful is because Joss Whedon and his creative team made the series character-based. And what character-based means is as the series progresses, so does a character. There's lows, there's highs, there's evil, there's good. It's exciting to watch. Whereas shows that are on television now are all focused on the drama and getting ratings and bringing in guest stars. Joss didn't think in that way. And that's why the show was such a huge success. Starting off in season 1, we have some of the greatest episodes of the entire series. This is where you get down to the nitty-gritty. This is a show about Monster of the Week, but it's also about people's lives and how these monsters affect them and how it brings them closer together. Season 1 kind of really establishes the characters. You know, Xander is the plucky underdog. Willow is the dorky nerd who finally finds her calling. Buffy, the reluctant hero as she may be, finds her way and defeats the Master. As for villains, the only real big villain we have in season 1 is the Master, aka Fruit Punch Mouth. Ancient evil, blah blah blah. All you need to know about him is that his sole purpose is to kill the Slayer. At the end of season 1, Buffy kills the Master. That'll be me bursting into vampire dust just for future reference. But not before the Master kills her first. He drains her blood and she drowns, effectively dying for a couple of minutes until Xander saves her life. This has serious repercussions for the Vampire Slayer line, which we'll get to in a later season. As we move on into season 2, everyone's characters start taking form. Willow starts dabbling in the magics. Buffy and Angel start getting really close, and Xander gets a girlfriend. Cordelia Chase isn't that major of a character in the Buffy series, so I'll leave her bio for the Angel video. In season 2, Willow gets a boyfriend, which, because it's Buffy the Vampire Slayer, he can't just be a regular Joe. He's a freaking werewolf, which is awesome and all, but on those 3 nights a month when there's a full moon, it gets a little awkward because he's all hairy and marking his territory. Season 2, Angel and Buffy's relationship gets a little bit steamy, if you know what I'm saying. This constitutes a moment of perfect and true happiness. Guess what happens? Angel's soul gone! Out in the hemisphere, no one even knows where it goes. He becomes an evil angel. Angelus. This is Angel, this is Angelus. You see the difference? Basically, he causes a ruckus all over Sunnydale, California, tormenting Buffy, tormenting her family and friends, even killing some of them, including Jenny Calendar over here, who's Giles' girlfriend. If you ask me, she ended up on the losing end of that bargain. Basically, the only way to go from this to this is to reinstall Angel's soul. This is where Willow comes in handy. She cooks up a spell and gets Angel's soul back. But it's a little too late. Angel has already opened up a portal for Macathala, this guy over here, whose sole aim is to suck the entire universe into a different dimension. Now, the only way to close that portal there is to stab her beloved Angel, and his blood closes the portal. It's a really sad moment, and it has a really great film score. After killing her beloved boyfriend, things go a little south for Buffy. Moving on into season 3, she's really depressed. She actually runs away and changes her name. One pivotal character that comes into play in season 3 is Anya. It's kind of scary, but she really looks like this, so don't get on her bad side. She becomes really important later on in the series, but right now she's just a secondary character. Hey guys, do you remember that one time that I told you that there would be serious repercussions for that one time that Buffy died? Yeah, that's where this comes into play. Enter stage left, Kendra. Kendra is a vampire slayer. But how is that possible if there's only one chosen vampire slayer? Well, Buffy died that one time, so another one was called, but Buffy still lives. It's a conundrum. There's a split in the time continuum or something. Anyways, bottom line, we've got 2 slayers on our hands. Kendra ends up dying, which is really, really sad, but it kind of needs to happen in order to get our kicker in season 3. Enter Faith. Faith is basically Buffy's evil twin sister. The yin to Buffy's yang. I don't have another analogy on hand right now, but she's just plain evil. It didn't start out that way though. She was just a nice girl who got in the wrong part of town. She ended up killing this guy who was the mayor's associate. It kind of went downhill again after that. Season 3 is all about darkness. Darkness, darkness, darkness. As the season progresses, we see that the mayor of Sunnydale is actually an evil guy. He's a demon. The one thing that can make a demon even more powerful is what's called an ascension. Essentially, an ascension is when a demon becomes a pure demon. And how does he do it? And where does he choose to do it? Buffy's graduation. You remember that Faith girl I was talking about earlier? How she has all that darkness and not very shiny happy people? Yeah, well the mayor taps into that evil. He brings her to his side. It's all like Batman and Robin, but evil edition. Basically, he trains her to be his assassin, his right-hand man. It really doesn't end well for our Faithy. She ends up getting stuck in the gut with a giant knife and is in a coma for basically the entire 4th season. Oh, the mayor ascends. He definitely does his ritual and the sky blacks out and he becomes a giant snake. Which makes me really uncomfortable, but that's just me. Buffy basically has to blow up the high school in order to defeat him, but she's Buffy, so she prevails. Oh my gosh, you guys. This is becoming extensive to say the least. We're only in season 3. There are 7 seasons. I'm definitely gonna have to make this into a 2-parter because there's no way that I'm gonna make you guys have to sit through a 15-minute video. So be on the lookout for Buffy Part 2 sometime in the near future. Alright guys, love you. And until next time, stake you later.